What up, what up? It's the Spinion!
Spinion.
We are finally back. Listen, let me break it down to you real quick. Both of our sons play basketball, and this is basketball season.
Yes, sir.
His son plays basketball 8 hours away, and he's been going to a lot of the games. I coach my son's basketball team, so we've been back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. We never forgot about you. We understand and we thank those that subscribe and been watching our page. We back now. It's a lot to talk about, so stick with this. This might be a 30 to 45 minute show instead of just a small 30 show, but it's gonna be worth your while. So subscribe, like, tell other people about it. The Spinion is going down today. It's the Spinion.
Let's do it.
Let's do it. All right, Spinion people. Couple of topics we're going to discuss today. We're going to talk about the college football final that's going down. We also going to talk about the NFL playoffs is going down because it got real interesting. And we're going to talk about the NBA a little bit because it's starting to get where we like it. After Christmas, it usually starts to get real going and things start moving and things start going the way that we intend or not intend. So it's really about to go down. All right, let's cover what's going on, man. Our pick is gone.
Our pick is gone. It's gone.
It's gone.
It's gone. It happened.
Yeah, it happened.
You know what I mean?
I mean, people have their conspiracy theories. They lost.
That it was a good game all year long. I think my criticism all year long has been when it really comes down to it, where they get over. You know what I mean? Like because where they really challenge this year.
Absolutely. And I think you ran into a juggernaut that wasn't gonna lay down. And they didn't, and that's the situation. But this game that's going on right now, this LSU Clemson, wow,
it's gonna be a great game. It's interesting. It's interesting that we chose Ohio State because at the top of the year, Clemson was definitely my number one ranked team at the top of the year. So it's like you kind of called it in a way, but it's still, hometown still, was kind of hoping Ohio State would pull it out. But LSU, the show that they put on, but my criticism for them was, can they put on that kind of show with it, man? I thought for sure because that's what it was, flash and all that. And I'm like, that's not good. They're not going to be able to be consistent with that type of play and making those type of catches throughout the year. Here we are, and they, look out there like world record breakers.
They did an excellent job, but the criticism I have of them is they played Oklahoma. And we all know the Big 12 teams don't fare well, particularly Oklahoma, in the Final Four. So with that being said, I think they're a juggernaut. Don't get me wrong. I think they're a juggernaut. But I think this game is going to be a very interesting game to play. Because if anybody has the SEC's number in bowl games, it's Clemson. So it should be very interesting. The quarterback really impressed me against Ohio State because he moved with his feet.
He looked great.
So he's got the weapons. LSU's going to have to play some defense. If it comes down to a shootout, I'm going to have to go with Clemson.
I'm going with Clemson anyway.
Okay.
Because, like I said, Clemson was always my number one ranked team all year long. At the beginning of the year, I just felt like they kind of covered
all the bases.
All of the bases, and up and coming stars and everything.
Right.
LSU surprised me. LSU surprised me, so I don't want to count them out.
Right.
But at the same time, when you put on a performance like that, the game, you want to save that performance for the championship game, and they might have shot too many bullets. It happens.
I can understand that. Absolutely. And Clemson's got a better front four. They got a better defense, definitely, than Oklahoma. So I'm going to go with you. I'm going to go with Clemson just because, like I said, the Dabo Swinney, he's got the championship pedigree, championship experience. His guys
they were supposed to win. It was supposed to be Clemson, Clemson and Alabama.
And I think Clemson is the healthier team because they really haven't been tested until that Ohio State game up until now. So
it all went according to plan. We talked about at the beginning, we said it's going to go according to plan. It all went according to plan. The only surprise team really was LSU, even though we had a lot of those players, in our ranked in our top, 5 players, but we didn't know that they were gonna
do that.
Make it here.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
absolutely.
So here we are.
Here we are.
I'm excited for LSU.
I'm excited. I'm excited about this game. You know what I'm saying? Both teams undefeated, and you know it makes it more interesting. I don't like the fact that it's in New Orleans because it kind of gives LSU a little bit of an edge because it's almost like a home game for them.
It's a lot.
Yeah, but
you know, it's where it's how
college football. That's how it falls.
When you see those years and you know that game is gonna be, you know, in your city.
That's a little extra motivation for them.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. So they take it on. Make your pick. Tell us who you like. You know the game is next.
LSU got a chance.
You got a chance.
They always get close, man. Every year they have those good teams.
Let's see if they can finally bite the big fish. Yeah. All right. Moving on to the NFL. Man, talking about our picks being out the water. The Saints gone.
Saints gone.
The Pats gone. Eagles gone. You know what I'm saying? It's like, wow. So now you got the Packers against the Seahawks. You have the 49ers. They're who they playing?
Vikings.
The Vikings. Then you got the Ravens against the Titans. And then you got the Texans against the Chiefs. This is going to be very interesting. What I like about it already, I love the quarterback matchups. You got Aaron Rodgers, Russell Wilson. You got Lamar Jackson in there. You got Ryan Tannehill, who's been playing really good since he's gotten that starting position. You know, you got Mahomes against Deshaun Watson. Man,
here we go with that again.
Yeah, it's going down. So when you think about the playoffs, man,
I think it's been a great football season.
Great football season.
You know, a lot of surprise players. Lamar Jackson, you know, came out of nowhere.
Yes.
I think
will be the MVP.
It was worth telling the story. I told this story the other day. People forget that Lamar Jackson wasn't projected to be a high QB pick. They didn't want him to play QB, and his mom was his agent. Yeah. She wasn't taking calls. I'll never forget that. She wasn't taking calls, and it was all of this conversation about how they weren't going about things the right way.
Right.
Now he's basically
the man.
Surpassed, you know, Patrick Mahomes in a lot of people's minds as, you know, the top QB.
Definitely exceeded expectations.
Exactly.
Definitely exceeded expectations. And proven that he can throw that thing.
Well, this is the thing. Here we are.
Right.
Because what we were saying, because we thought all year, one thing we talked about it in college, in the NFL, all year, we were waiting for people to fall off. Mm-hmm. People to fall off this year. even the teams that didn't make it. Buffalo, kudos to Buffalo, you know, coming from my division as a Patriots fan. Like, people, when you beat the Buffalo Bills, they ain't playing nobody. Well, it turns out they were. They choked the game off in the end. They should have won that game. Right. It's kind of crazy. But
Deshaun, though. Deshaun is a winner, man.
This is what kind of...
Absolutely.
They had him dead to rights.
They right.
But he, like he said, somebody had to be great. It was going to be him.
Man.
So, you know, right now, with the way it's shaped out, we had these great quarterback matchups. All of these teams actually have a chance now. It seems like everybody that's in the playoffs now has a chance to really write their legacy. To win it all and write their legacy.
This is wide open right now.
You have Russell Wilson.
Right.
If Russell Wilson accomplishes this, like, it throws him into the upper echelon. Can't argue it. You know, if Aaron Rodgers gets him one more, it's gonna be crazy.
And then
you have all of the young quarterbacks just trying to establish it. It's a few teams I don't necessarily think have a chance. Titans I don't necessarily think they have a chance, but shout out
to the big Henry. Derrick Henry.
Shout out to Derrick Henry.
Man, he dominated. He
damn near running 200 yards. That's like college football, you know, number 1 against number 30.
He from the time, baby, roll tide.
And just, you know, shout out Unc Shay Sharp. Like, I know you want to blame it on Brady, but come on, man. The dude ran for 200 yards.
Yeah, man. Stop. He
ran for 200 yards.
On the Patriots defense.
It ain't about the quarterback at that point. He was barely on the field.
He was bruising them boys.
He looked cold.
Right. So the thing about it is, what I like about it is that fact that it is wide open. The fact that it has been entertaining. I hope the second week impresses just as the first week does.
It has no choice. The matchup that we have, it's almost like a NFL fans, you know, dream, a sports fan dream. You know, here we are again with Deshaun and Patrick Mahomes in the playoffs.
Man.
With an opportunity, you know,
I'm excited about NFL football. This is big time.
You know,
this is big time. Because I'm not gonna count out the Titans.
I'm not gonna count them out. I just don't think they're.
I think the emotional win. They're gonna have to get their emotions back in check right away.
But this is why I count the Titans out. I count the Titans out because my man, just like when we were talking about LSU,
right?
That's as good as it gets. That's not gonna happen to you. Okay?
Oh, hey.
No. You're not running. You're not running.
It could.
You're not running for another 200 yards in the NFL playoff.
Right.
It don't happen. The fact that it happened was incredible. But
let's say it doesn't though. I think the Titans have enough weapons.
No. It happened, and they only scored 14 points.
Right.
They would have lost the game had the Patriots just got it in from the half-yard line. The fact they won the game because the Patriots failed on the goal line.
But I'm telling you,
200. The running back runs 200 yards. You drop 14.
That's just the beauty of the playoffs.
You can't at least give me 21.
Yeah, you're right.
You gave me 14.
Right.
And so you
throw them out on a little. Like I say, it's how they scheme it, and Vrabel is a Patriot guy.
That's fine, but I don't think you hold it. I don't think you hold in the Ravens to 13 points.
Absolutely.
And I don't know that the Tennessee Titans offense can. I understand they've been putting up numbers second half of the season.
Right.
But I don't. What you showed me in the playoffs is 14 points. Right. So if you can get back up to that 30, you have to score 28 plus points, I believe, to beat the Ravens.
Okay, let's put some pressure on the Ravens part of it. And this is a question I have for everybody, and this is for the viewers as well. If Lamar Jackson loses that game, where does that put him? Is his legacy concerned? He's going to win the regular season MVP.
Well,
what does that do for him? Does that it disappoints their season definitely? But does that really put a damper on his season?
I don't think what it does is it puts it in perspective.
Okay.
And right now, it's about to go crazy.
Right.
It's about to go crazy.
Right.
It's about to go the way
he could sign a big contract.
It's about to go the way that they wanted Patrick Mahomes to go.
Okay.
But Patrick Mahomes didn't end up going that way because what happened? He ran into Tom Brady.
Right.
If Lamar Jackson fails, then it'll just be normal.
Okay.
Of course.
Okay.
Of course he was successful, but of course he's just not ready.
Right.
It won't even feel like a failure.
That's how I feel. I feel like it won't be a failure. You're only in year 2.
It's incredible they got the number 1 seed.
Absolutely.
It's how it works.
So let's talk about these quarterbacks. Which one of these quarterbacks has the most pressure on them?
The most pressure.
That's a big question because I think the young quarterbacks get a pass.
I believe everybody gets a pass except for Patrick Mahomes.
What about Aaron Rodgers though?
Aaron Rodgers don't get no pass.
That's what I'm saying.
To me, it's not a tie. I think I would if I would just answer it straight out. I think Aaron Rodgers is under the most pressure.
Okay.
Because we can't forget about the narrative.
Yeah.
That goes with Aaron Rodgers.
Right.
And nobody wants to talk about it. Yeah. People rarely say negative things about Aaron Rodgers. But he just got finished getting his coach fired.
Yeah.
He got this new thing in here. He hasn't been great this year.
He hasn't been great.
No one's calling him old, telling him he needs to retire.
Yeah, absolutely.
But he might.
They finally got a run game.
You know what I mean? But they've been winning. I wouldn't go as far as to say in spite of him.
Yeah.
He's not a bad quarterback.
Yeah, he made some
but they haven't been winning because of him. And this is an opportunity. Now, the playing field is clear.
Right.
It's literally quarterback matchups everywhere you look.
Quarterback.
And the
it's
question
going to be a
is,
great playoff.
Are you the best quarterback? Now, you're supposed to be Aaron Rodgers.
Yeah.
People want to call you even the GOAT and say you the best in the game. You got these young bulls, they coming.
Of this class, you would say he's the best. Of this playoff class.
But can you say that?
No, I'm saying of this class, historically.
You would say so.
Aaron Rodgers got the most pedigree, got the most experience. She made it walk
the most expectations.
I think the weather is so big for some of these teams. All right, when you talk about Green Bay, how cold is it going to be? You in Baltimore. Is it going to be windy? Is it going to be... That favors them, and it kind of gives the Titans a chance because they run the ball. Both teams run the ball. The Chiefs, it's been snowing. It's been sunny. It's been snowing. Their defense has been better since week 6, 7, and 8. They picked up.
We not gonna say the Chiefs.
You don't think the defense is gonna be better?
No, I think it's gonna be as terrible as it always.
So you think it's gonna be a shootout?
They better hope so.
Okay.
If it's not a shootout, because the one thing.
But their weapons are healthy.
I think it's going to be a game.
Okay.
It's going to be a game. And the Texans give up points anyway. It's always a shootout, with the Texans.
The reason I'm giving them credence to their defense is because Deshaun Watson got sacked 7 times. And that's
fine.
But the Chiefs front four is their strength.
They've always been able to do that. But sometimes But the defense is bad.
Okay.
Even last year, they got after the quarterback a little bit.
Right.
But can you stop the run? Is your secondary up to par? You know, like and it never is. You
The
know?
Honey Badger, don't he play for the Chiefs?
Yeah, that's one.
Okay, so
they have a player, but they had D4.
Okay.
I mean, like they always have a player here, a player there, and that line. When you have a bad defense, you call them. You try to get because the secondary isn't very good.
But
you know
Deshaun is not special.
It's gonna be
It's worth watching.
But I want to say this. We talked about Aaron Rodgers. We can't leave Patrick Mahomes out of this pressure conversation.
Okay. Because
because he had expectations coming into the season.
Right.
First of all, and people have been saying he's the best quarterback in the league. He was the MVP last year, and Lamar Jackson on them heels.
Yeah,
now he the MVP.
Right.
And on top of that, it has to be said, and a couple guys, a couple of the pundits on TV try to reject this notion.
Okay.
Nick Wright, one of them. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Shout out first things first. But the fact of the matter is, Patrick Mahomes loses all of the big games. When he matches up,
that has everything to do with where he came from.
it doesn't matter why.
No. It's Texas Tech. You ain't never played nobody.
Well, that may be.
It's your upbringing and the fact that your coach is Andy Reid. How many big games?
And that's their story.
That's his favorite coach, Andy Reid.
The Mike D'Antoni of the NBA. And make no mistake, Patrick Mahomes is the James Harden of the NFL. He gonna put up all of them numbers. It's gonna be crazy. He gonna throw it behind the back.
Shut up right now.
But if he doesn't win, then we gonna have to take that scarlet letter and put it on his chest.
Come on, man.
He's only in year two artist. He loses all of the big games.
I don't know yet. For me, the jury's still out on you, Patrick Mahomes. We got it. You have an opportunity. The pressure is on you. This is the Chiefs' best chance.
I'm saying
I think this is the Chiefs.
At this point,
with the Patriots out of the
best chance. If he doesn't win, I'm just saying we got to put the scarlet letter on him. I ain't say he can't get it off of him at some point.
Okay.
But we have to start speaking
so
about it.
If he loses, it's more disappointing.
It's a disappointment
than
if Lamar Jackson. Lamar Jackson is Patrick Mahomes.
But when Patrick Mahomes wins this game, but then loses the next,
it doesn't matter when he wins. Patrick Mahomes has to go to the Super Bowl.
Let us know what you think.
What you can't do, Patrick Mahomes, is lose to Lamar Jackson, and that's what might happen.
Don't worry about Lamar right now. You need to worry about Deshaun.
I'm just telling you what's coming.
And Hopkins, they special. They really special. So with that being said, take your picks for this week.
Deshaun you go first, man.
I'm going to say it's going to be the Ravens versus the Texans in the AFC final, in the AFC Championship game. In the NFC Championship game, I never bet against Russell Wilson. I love Aaron Rodgers. As Stephen A. Smith said, he's a bad man. But Russell Wilson just finds a way to make it happen. So I'm going with the Seahawks, all right, versus the 49ers. We ain't even talked about the 49ers. Their defense is ready. They at home. It should be special. They can run the ball. Garoppolo got a new weapon. Emmanuel Sanders has proven himself since he's been there. I think it's going to be the 49ers versus Seahawks, which should be an epic situation because it'll be round 3 for them. And then the Ravens versus the Texans. Mark it there. That's my picks. Now it's on
I'm picking purely off emotion on what I would like to see happen.
Okay.
I believe that it's going to be the Ravens versus the Chiefs.
Okay.
In that AFC title game, and it's going to be the 49ers against the Seahawks. When it comes to the Seahawks matchup against the Packers, I'm a Tom Brady fan. Mm-hmm. So when it comes to Aaron Rodgers, I'm not an Aaron Rodgers hater, but I don't want 2 weeks from now to be talking about is Aaron Rodgers better than Tom Brady. I just don't want to do it. And that's what's going to happen if we end up in that game.
Please don't do that. Please don't do that. It ain't even a fair conversation.
But that's where we were last year. We were there last year until he missed the whole playoffs.
Right. So pick your Super Bowl.
Man, Super Bowl pick.
I'm going to go. I'm rolling with Lamar Jackson. I'm rolling with the Ravens versus the Seahawks. Mark it. Ravens versus the Seahawks.
I'm going the same direction, but it is very important that Russell Wilson win the Super Bowl.
Okay.
Listen.
Absolutely. Yeah. I got you in that.
I love because this is what I've been saying it. If you've been following, I'll say it every time we turn this camera on. That is one of my problems with the NFL. And these veterans need to be shamed. You need to be ashamed of yourself. These coaches with these veteran quarterbacks, all of this thing, you need to be ashamed. These veteran defenses in there, shame on you. Like Game of Thrones, shame. Because you all are allowing these players, they lace up the cleats, step on the field first full season, and they just take off on y'all. Man. It's getting ridiculous. Right. They keep one. It's been 2 years in a row now in the NFL. The player who is his first full year of starting has won the MVP in the NFL, which is supposed to be a grown man's game.
Absolutely.
A grown man's game. So Lamar Jackson if he win the Super Bowl, I gotta just shut up. I can't never say it again. Right. It'll be over with. Right. I can't have that complaint. But come on, old fellas. Come on now.
The dark horse for the Seahawks and why I'm picking them is Metcalf at the wideout and Marshawn Lynch. Man, he is he
looks credible on the goal line. Looks incredible on the goal line. For me, it just has seemed like Russell Wilson has been on a mission all year.
Right, but the fact that you gave him another weapon, because like for instance, in that game, the playoff game, when he threw the little out route to Marshawn and he got 20 yards and he threw the dude over to the side, I was like, Pete Carroll, still in beast mode.
Play calling, Russell Wilson picking up the first downs with his legs. It'll be a great Super Bowl. You know, the NFL definitely benefited from this year. You know, as a Patriots fan, you know, we'll see y'all next year. But even with the Patriots out, like I like the look of these new teams.
I like the emergence of the black quarterback.
It's going to be exciting.
Come on, y'all, get us in there. Get in there. So, Garoppolo and Aaron Rodgers got something to say. But let's see if you speak louder, all right? Let's move on. We're going down to the NBA, the Nitty Gritty, what we like best, that hoop game.
Been a great season
so far. His boys didn't show up for the Christmas game.
Oh, my God.
We don't even go there. We're going to go past there. We can come back to it. You know, like I said, it's a longer episode. We can go back to it. But right now, what I want to focus on right now, we're going in the NBA. We're going past Christmas. Let's talk about, give me two of your most disappointing teams so far.
The two most disappointing teams in the NBA, to me, bar none, are Utah Jazz and Portland.
Wow.
Honorable mention for me is the 76ers, but that's for other reasons that I'll get to.
Absolutely.
But the just record-wise, style of play, expectations versus actual results and productivity on the court, Utah Jazz won for me in Portland.
Wow. Well, see, Utah's still in the picture, though.
I feel like at this point in the season, where we expect the level that we expect them to be at, people were talking about them in that
top three
Western Conference, and they aren't there.
Yeah, they're not there.
You know, Mike Conley's
been just too much trust in Donovan Mitchell.
And I was saying that before it happened, but the thing is, when you hang your hat on defense, it's supposed to travel. Defense is defense. So the defense hadn't been there. Mike Conley's been awful most of the year. You know, it just hasn't worked out well. Portland, it's worked out even worse.
Man.
And you want to hang that over Lillard's head. He's still averaging, being productive, but I really do feel like
that goes back to our conversation a long time ago, making your team a winner, and making the players around you better. I think a lot of it he doesn't do, and that's going to be his Achilles.
And I feel like he did it. I feel like he did it last year. He really played some point guard last year, but I think as soon as he hit that shot and waved, he also said goodbye. To all of the progress he had made in his game up to that point. Since then, it's just been a regression, just back to old habits of not passing the ball, no assists, no court vision. You know, him and McCollum, they just out there. They out there basically playing like two James Hardens, and they're not as good.
So. I'm gonna say that Portland. I do agree that Portland is one of those teams. Another team that I had expectations for that hasn't was Detroit. They suck.
Detroit? You had expectations for Detroit?
At what they had coming in, I like the Derrick Rose pickup. I like the fact that they had Jackson. You still had Griffin. Griffin's been, I don't know if he's hurt or not. I don't know what he's doing. And then Drummond has been, he does what he does, but it's not enough.
Yeah, but
offensive threat.
You got to give them
in the East because it was like maybe you can get to a 4 or 5.
Yeah, but
they're bad.
I felt like they were old. You knew Blake Griffin was going to be injured. You knew that.
That's just bad.
You knew that when you pick up Derrick Rose. I'm not gonna like there. I feel like Derrick Rose is past the bad injury point, but you recognize that he's gonna be productive. But when Derrick Rose is being productive for your team isn't going to win a lot of games. He's not.
That's kind of like what you said with Brandon Ingram.
Yeah, but he's not as bad. I don't think he's as, like makes bad decisions because a lot of those times he shows up in the clutch. But when you have to play him extended minutes and he's scoring 18, but then he comes back and you play another game and it may not. He drops 30. Then it's It's
See, this is my thing about these point guards. Coming from a guard, I think guards run the world. I think for you to be an effective point guard in the league, you got to at least average 8 assists, 7, 8 assists. Lillard is below that 8 assists. He's always at 6 assists. And you got to get at least 8.
I'll take 6. I think to me the main thing to me that
not
I see
with his weapons
is bad is being bad defensively as a point guard.
They don't even guard each other.
They're being, but you're bad at the point of attack. Like Derrick Rose, yes, you get in this game and get in the game and score 18, but so does whoever you're guarding.
Right.
Literally, you get in the game and you drop 27, but you don't guard anybody.
So let's think, brother, Derrick Rose, you come off the bench, you hit 18, but the guy that else comes off the bench hit 18. You just canceled out what we thought you was going to do.
Right. And you have to have a player on your team that can defend that position.
That's what's wrong with the NBA.
And that's what they don't have.
Nobody defends enough anymore. You used to see, back in the old days, the best player guard the best player. And it's like, even in the fourth quarter.
At least guard your position.
At least guard your, but they don't even do that. And they all talk about help side and talking on D. I'm like, dude, you just let them
guard your position.
You know what I'm saying? Just the simple intricacies. Like Damian Lillard ain't never guarded. If you talk about it, whatever. The one that does guard, Chris Paul at times, he would guard. Russell Westbrook will guard a little bit, but now he don't guard anymore. You know what I'm saying? Curry never guards.
Well, he can't.
Right.
You had another
Kyrie
player.
don't really guard that much until he was motivated in the finals.
You know
what I'm saying?
But Derrick, I didn't have any expectations for the Pistons because Derrick Rose is going to be playing hot minutes.
But now that's why you see why people are picking the Clippers because they believe in the Clippers guard. I'm talking about
I feel like the Clippers guard the perimeter, but as we know, people used to always say as much Golden State hits all these threes. Listen, Golden State stretches you to the 3-point line, and they get they used to get 25, 30 open layups a game. It's the Clippers can't guard the basket.
But here's the problem, and I hear what you're saying. You're saying that they don't guard the basket. But who goes to the basket in the league? The reason I feel like the Lakers lost is because they didn't go attack the basket.
Exactly. But in the playoffs, when the game slows down, that's where the game is going to be won. Now you have those teams that are just going to throw that ball at the rim like the Rockets.
Right.
But when that rubber meets the road, it's time to get over that hump. They're not going to be able to.
Right.
That's just how the basketball guys work.
Right.
And, so we get excited about the 3-pointers and all of these things. The teams that win are the teams that get easy baskets, transition,
absolutely,
getting to the rim, and the Clippers can't guard it.
So what happens was Golden State stretched you out, then they went back door.
Oh my God!
And then they
it used to be ridiculous,
and they get layups because you had to honor the perimeter.
Exactly.
So that's the thing now. I think that's where the Lakers have their little Achilles heels because when you're playing against the Clippers, go at the basket. They're not long enough. They're not rangy enough. Yes, Kawhi can guard out there in the perimeter. So you go ahead and you give him an on-ball screen or you give him a dribble handoff and you attack the basket.
Yeah,
especially with Anthony Davis. They don't have a guy that can guard Anthony Davis when he's at the basket. But when he's shooting a jumper, you make the Clippers defense look better.
The Lakers have looked awful against the Clippers, in my opinion. Like you said, the whole game plan has been off. But the Clippers just got finished looking awful against the Grizzlies. The Clippers have looked awful against the Suns. I honestly believe the playoffs will be something different. I think they think that it's gonna go in their favor.
Okay,
but I don't believe so. I first of all believe they're gonna have a really low seed, and I don't. You're gonna have to get through Utah and Houston. It's gonna go different than Clippers fans think it's gonna go. But that's another conversation.
I think after the playoffs, mark my word, I think Kawhi's gonna start playing back to backs. After the All-Star game, he's going to start playing back-to-backs so they can increase the seed. Right now, they're in a 4 seed. And between the 2nd and the 6th seed is 1 or 2 game splits or whatever. So they feel like they could probably trump the Clippers. I'm not the Clippers. Nuggets.
Yeah, that's what they think. That's what they think. But they getting blown out by Memphis in the meantime. So that's what they think.
That I like what they're doing. Michael Porter Jr. is a baller.
He coming.
Or whatever. So they're slowly but surely bringing him into the offense. One game he was like 8 for 10. You know, he can score from all 3 levels of the floor, and he can hit free throws.
If they really
you don't need him to be a star, but you just need him to be effective enough to that you honor him when he comes
the
in
thing
the game.
about Michael Porter, we talked about this earlier. I don't know if we talked about it on thing, but just talking. The thing about Michael Porter is you're gonna have to make him a rotation player.
Yeah.
And in order for Denver to make him a rotation player, you have to unmake another rotation player because you have too many.
He's worth that though.
But are you gonna do it? So you have Beasley. You know what I mean? Like, are you gonna do it?
Michael Porter Jr. got to play.
So who you gonna? So you gonna have Beasley on the team and you're not gonna play him? You got Harris on the team and you're not gonna play him?
Hey, you might if you shorten the rotation.
You gonna have shorten and take who out?
You could take Gary Harris out.
You gonna really take Gary Harris out? You gotta trade Gary Harris. That's what I'm saying. The players are too good.
I'm cool with trading Gary Harris.
Okay, but are they?
And I love Gary,
but they're not.
I grew up with Gary. You know what I'm saying?
We haven't
in AAU, but
we haven't heard anything about them making that trade. And we talked about this. That's the problem with teams that have a certain players that play the same position.
Right.
Boston did it.
Right.
So many teams do it, and they think they can just get away with it. You think you can just
let's say about rotation.
The same team.
You
have to make a decision.
I can play Porter Jr. at the 4.
Lakers last year. Lakers couldn't make a decision on Brandon Ingram or Kyle Kuzma. You got to make a decision.
So who's their 4? Who's the Nuggets 4? Who's their 4 man? I know Plumlee comes in off the bench.
I mean, it's I can't think of his name right now. It's the guy from Atlanta.
We don't know who he is.
Power forward. Power forward that shoots the threes.
Millsap.
Millsap. That's the power
forward.
forward.
Heck yeah.
You
can limit his minutes.
No. You can't limit Millsap's minutes. That's what I'm saying. There's no where he plays is exactly where Beasley got his gym shoes standing on. Exactly where Harris got his gym shoes on. But the problem is they're not just good players.
Right.
They're productive.
They're productive on the defensive end.
They're productive offensively. If they get their minutes, they're going to get from 13 to 18 points if you play them their minutes. Period. And that's why they keep playing.
So do you trade Porter or do you trade them one?
No, you ain't trading Porter because Porter is going to be a star in this NBA if he can stay healthy. Like we see, did you see the step back? And the guy be shooting like be like 9 for 10. Like but it's when they play them, you know. And they're being cautious. You're bringing them back, but the problem is like we said. One of those other guys, maybe 2 of them.
Yeah.
They may need to package 2 of them.
Yeah.
And go get a pick or something.
Make it work.
That's why to me this year isn't going to be the Nuggets year.
Okay.
Maybe next year.
Okay. I got you. But like I said, this is what the NBA has to come down to. Yeah, he's really nice. Let's talk about most disappointing players.
I got 3.
Okay. 3.
Ben Simmons.
Man, he's my number 1 too. Come on. Let's go.
Embiid.
Wow.
Embiid.
Okay.
I almost wanted to put them right next to each other, and I'll talk about that in a second. And Kuzma.
Wow.
Is for me the top 3. Ben Simmons. I'm sick of it.
Man.
I'm sick of it. Man. You had the videos. You had all of that. I'm not. We've been watching. It's ridiculous.
Mm-hmm.
Embiid have to be criticized just to go down low.
Right.
But this is really why they right on that list right next to each other to me. Ben Simmons and Joel Embiid are literally Kobe and Shaq without the championships. I don't know who
from a talent standpoint?
From a potential standpoint. From a potential standpoint. Right now, Philadelphia is supposed to be coming out of the East.
They're supposed to be coming out of the East, right.
The only reason they're not. Why did Butler want to leave? He said, I can't say everything that goes on over there.
Got you.
Those guys are at each other's necks.
Right.
They don't like each other. They can't coexist, and neither one of them has accomplished anything.
I think they like each other personality-wise, but they just don't like each other.
They were sitting about next to each other like we were sitting right there. They doing the interview. And they asked Ben Simmons a question. Ben Simmons said, you know what, man? We just different people. He do what he do, and I do what I do. Man. That's what he said. He didn't say peanut butter and jam.
I got to give my shout out to
peanut butter and jelly.
He said
They don't.
They need to be traded.
And it's ridiculous for them to be at that point now. Go to the championship first. Mm-hmm. Be productive first. It's kind of like, even what Kyrie was going through with LeBron. Like, you threw away an opportunity to go to the finals to leave early.
Right.
Why did you do that? Suck it up. Be productive. You can leave when it's over with.
But the San Francisco is not getting to the championship.
Because they can't get along. All because they can't find a way.
They got to be shooting themselves in the foot
to get along.
Butler go.
Embiid just shot a shot at Simmons the other day.
Right.
Talking about, I can't play my game.
The thing about it is with Ben Simmons is, man, you put up all this video on Instagram and you still only took like maybe 3 threes this year.
Absolutely.
You're not a perimeter threat at all. You're mental. You won't even look at the basket.
Check this out though. See, this is what's happening here. This is why I said this is why they deserve to be right next to each other. Ben Simmons feels like he's better than Embiid.
Okay.
So when you tell Ben Simmons you need to make an adjustment so he can do something, that don't make no sense to Ben Simmons. Wow. Ben Simmons is like, no, he needs to stand behind the 3-point line and spot up. So because that is when I get to do my thing. And Embiid is like, no, Ben Simmons, he just said in an interview the other day, right. Ben Simmons, I don't know who on this team need to, if you open your spot up, you need to shoot.
Right.
So he like, Ben Simmons need to spot up and shoot no matter what. So neither one of these guys are willing to make that sacrifice like you hear the winners talk about.
Right.
That you have to make in order to make space for the other players.
That's why Jimmy Butler left. That's why Miami's been the most surprising team in the league.
Miami's been great.
The way they winning and who they got on their team.
I wish they could just add some size.
Absolutely. Jimmy Butler should be in consideration for MVP because what that team is doing.
List.
He should be on the list because, wow,
the confidence he's given them.
Yeah.
You have a lot of players playing over their head.
I'm going to give you my most disappointing player. And accomplishments aside, this was his year to show the world how much of a winner he is and how he can bring his team together. Draymond Green stinks right now.
Draymond Green. I'm glad you did that.
I'm
glad you did that.
You not make your teammates better. You talking too much.
And
you coasting. You flat out coast. This game, you only had 2 points in the whole game.
Because you know what? The Warriors belonged on that first list.
Yes.
But because they so injured, because y'all been ducking criticism.
I'm going to give Stephen Curry till February. I just researched it. Whatever his surgery, he's supposed to come out in February because he says he wants to play in the Olympics and he wants to at least play the last 30 games to get himself in shape.
They were trash.
I don't even think he's hurt.
They were trash with him on the team.
Listen, y'all, we get on Kawhi for sitting out games. The Golden State Warriors are coasting a whole season. That's not fair. That's not cool. You see Stephen Curry going up and down the sidelines, giving his daughter the hand clap with both hands. And you like, this brother can't play.
I'm glad.
They are coasting. And Draymond Green, you need to be put on the carpet because you're not playing good basketball. You talking too much. You ain't earned your stripes. You could have earned your stripes this year as a legitimate guy that's worth his contract. But now we know you're not nobody without them. And we thought they made you. Trash. You didn't make them. You're not playing good defense. You're not playing good offense, and you're being a terrible leader.
I remember arguing with somebody saying, like, oh, if he had more opportunity, I'm like, if Draymond had more opportunity.
This guy should be averaging a double-double based on his skill set this year and should be tearing up. Don't vote for him for the All-Star team. Don't vote for him for the Olympic team. He's terrible and he's talking too much. Shut up. Some of them, they do be fouls. You need to be kicked out of the game. You need to be fined because you're not playing good basketball, man. And that's not what how it's supposed to be. Draymond Green is not. I had 2 or 3 picks, but Draymond Green is my number 1 most disappointing player this year because this could have been his year to cement his legacy as far as the Golden State. I mean, to be honest with you, for the AFC, you could have got the AFC. I don't care with D'Angelo Russell. You at least could have competed for it. It's a lot of teams that have won like 14, 15 games, right? The Oklahoma City Thunder.
Once they found out that they couldn't compete, they just folded.
How you gonna fold a season on the fans in a new arena?
In November.
And he be coming in the games, play 16 minutes, go sit down. Oh, I got a broken fingernail. I'm not going to play for the rest of the game. Or I get kicked out of the game. He gets kicked out on purpose. The Golden State Warriors have quit on the season. Yeah. And they need to be brought to the carpet. The NBA need to do something about that. They need to holler at Steve Kerr or D'Angelo Russell. You done came over there and you washing up. Like, man, what are you doing? You just made this big money. You making yourself trade bait. You're actually making yourself trade bait because it's like you're not even playing.
And I don't want to hear nothing
how
about
you tank the season
that they can get.
like you said,
talking about. We talking about what pick Golden State can get. Nah, we gonna talk about Golden State being
That's
trash.
why I think it's not fair because you'll tank with that talent. Tanking with that talent. Some teams are tanking and they don't have the talent. You got to tank with that talent and you'll end up getting James Wiseman. If James Wiseman goes to Golden State with them coming back healthy, that's not fair.
Well, it's not.
Wiseman is a
They don't do fair or competition.
That's bad, man. But the NBA needs to say something about the Golden State Warriors and Draymond Green and Stephen Curry over there. I don't want to call you a faker, bro, but you really look like you could put on a jersey and get out there and play some basketball.
I said before the season, he can't wait to get hurt.
Yeah,
and then he going in trying to do layups, doing all right. You don't be trying to do that,
man.
What you doing?
Man, like
what you doing, bro?
This
you trying to go over the top with people.
Right. For me, he goes down in the history as far as one of my least favorite players now because it's like, man, the better players did it. Like think about when Kobe had those bad talent. He still showed up every night and gave buckets. LeBron,
when everybody was telling him, don't go to the finals, you're going to be another loss.
They had to sit LeBron down last year. He wanted to play. Yeah. He wanted to play without the talent. And he was like, nah, they know.
It is what it is.
The team forced him to sit down. Ain't nobody goes, they just talking amongst each other. Hey, you feel like playing tonight? Nah, I'm good. Okay.
I'm good.
You know what I'm saying?
We'll play next year. I don't care next year.
That's corny, man. That's not even cool.
It has been.
That's not even
I'm glad you took off, bro.
Yeah. I'm my bad.
I'm glad I didn't have to do that.
Hey, Spinion.
Because I'm always yelling.
Absolutely. Hey,
glad it wasn't me today.
We love you. We glad that we're back.
He's not
you know
going to go stay hater.
I'm not at all, man. But that's subscribe. Like, we're going to be sending out cards, sending out flyers, sending out commercials, whatever we got to do.
Sir.
Watch the Spinion, comment, hit us up on our Instagram page with some comments and some suggestions. We take it all. We having a good time. This is the Spinion. Spinion! We out of here.